Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to do a tier list. We're going to rank some Cosmere couples. So I've picked basically the Cosmere couples that I think are the most solid relationships and ones that are official relationships that are either marriage or officially together and that kind of stuff. So yeah, we're just going to go ahead and rank them, and we're going to talk a little bit about their setups, whether or not they're arranged marriages or just kind of natural setups and stuff. So yeah, with that being said, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and check out the Patreon if you want to see some early access and some reactions and whatnot. So yeah, with that being said, let's begin. All right, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Almost 14 couples to rank, and we're gonna just talk about them a bit. I probably should have looked for a 14th one for Valentine's Day, being 14 or whatever. But whatever. So we're gonna start off with Siri and Susabran. So I like this couple so much. I think they work really, really well together. I think they're a great pairing, but I also think it's kind of an interesting expression of one of Brandon's most common tropes. Is this arranged marriage thing that just happens to work out? He just loves that trope of arranged marriages that work out, and this is kind of a like arranged marriage that has a level of like discomfort to it. So it working out in the way that it does is just really, really well done. So I almost want to like give it some negative points because it's vaguely a Stockholm syndrome situation a little bit, but it's kind of happening from both perspectives. So it's equally kind of not natural pairing. I don't want to put them completely at S tier, but I think I want to put them at A tier because I think their relationship dynamic and their chemistry and stuff with each other works really, really well. I think they're a great couple, even though the way they got together could, leave a little bit to be desired. So next up, we have Adolin and Shalon, another example of an arranged marriage that just so happens to work out. So I think the oops, what happened? Oh crap. Okay, ignore all that. So, I think I love this couple. I love this pairing. I think they work together so well. But honestly, I think the reason why the relationship works and why this couple works is purely because of Adolin. The work that Adolin puts into this relationship is like next level. It's so good. It's so awesome. He's such a great guy. He's just pure golden retriever energy, and just like he's awesome. So I kind of want to knock off some points on the relationship because it is very one sided in a lot of ways. Actually, yeah, I think I'm going to drop it at B because it is kind of one sided in a lot of ways. And I mean, I know a lot of the issues that they have like come from Shalon's mental health and stuff like that, and a lot of it's not her fault, but a lot of it like she could just kind of take a leap of faith and not cause so much friction where it doesn't need to exactly be. So I'm going to have to knock some points off of it and just leave them at B, which is funny because they're like one of the biggest couples in the Cosmere. So it's like, yeah. This is 10. I always for I even when I was reading Miss Bourne, I couldn't say her name. Tindwell and Sazed, a couple that is pure mental connection that is so beautifully done. It's so innocent, even though my brain doesn't quite see where the romance like where it started and then where it hit such a insane level of intensity kind of thing. But I think they're a great couple. I think what the nature of that relationship does for Sazed works in a way that's a little too mechanical, a little too much. I can see the structure and the construction of the story through that relationship a lot, and I don't really like that. It's a great organic relationship, but in terms of seeing Brandon, make create the story, I can see the sausage being made effectively. So we're going to drop them to C tier, even though I love the pairing, I love the relationship and stuff, and I think it does a lot of work for the character development. But again, like I said, I can just see the hand of the creator too much. So yeah. All right, next. Oh, I am sorry. I screwed up. This first couple is not Siri and Suzabron. This is a different arranged marriage relationship. Damn, I should have recognized it immediately. He's an Elantrian. This is Raoden and Sereni. their relationship has a level of organic nature to it. The fact that it is arranged, because Brandon loves that, but they were talking a lot before they were actually meant to be married. So they actually really did develop like an online relationship kind of thing, speaking through seance and whatnot. So do I want to give them an S or no? I think, and the way they worked together, they became like legit. Actually, yeah, I'm gonna put it at S tier because the way they became partners and stuff, and the way they worked together, had their own independent kind of like different parts of their plans and everything. I thought that all just worked wonderfully, and like they're just like one of the better like quote unquote arranged marriages. But like, yeah, the issues I have with it aren't really the issues with the relationship. I guess I would complain that like Rayoden has like no character development, but that's not a detraction on their relationship. So we're going to leave it there. This image is Siri and Suzabran. So we're just going to put them back up at A tier for the same reasons I said in the beginning of the video. Next up, we have Tress and Huck. And I love this image because it's him in his mouse form, and that's just cute. Because I love the fact that like it took me so long in the book before I realized that's who he was. Like that completely got me. Like that twist completely fell for it. Hook, line, and sinker. It worked out beautifully. But their relationship is so cute and it is so like pure and innocent, but it's so strong for her to just be like, well, I'm leaving this island I've never left in my entire life, and I'm going on this huge adventure to go and find you because yeah, like there's no question here. So like the strength of the relationship is beautiful, but it's a little underdevelopment and underdevelopment. It's a little underdeveloped in that we don't really get to see it in action. We don't get to see a lot of their interaction, even though we do get interaction with him as a mouse and stuff. But we don't get like couple interaction, so it's hard for me to like really make a comment on them as a couple, as as a item. So we're gonna have to put them at B tier with Adolin and Shallan, but different reasons to knock off points. But I do love the pairing. I think it works, and it's one of the rare not arranged marriage situations. It's just another organic relationship that just kind of happened. So I really enjoy that. So next up, who is this? That looks like okay, this one is kind of a honorable mention. This is Relaine and Renarin. This is an honorable mention because their relationship is basically an arranged marriage, but it's arranged by the fandom. So once it was confirmed that Relaine is gay and it's confirmed that Renarin is gay, and basically I can't tell what happened first because this may have been discussion in the fandom before I got really deep into the fandom, but it feels very much like the fans just told Brandon Relaine and Renarin have to be together. They're both Bridge 4, they're both gay, and now they're both enlightened Spren, which just seems to be or not Spren, but enlightened truth watchers. Or will Relaine even be a truth watcher? Because she touched a lot of different types of Spren. So he might not actually be a truth watcher. He might be like an enlightened will shaper or something, which could be really cool. Neither here nor there. But again, it feels very much like this relationship is arranged by the fact that the fandom wants it to happen. I don't think there's been any actual on-page interaction between these two characters. I can't recall a single instance of it. But just the basically the art alone and just the way their two personalities even separated are, I kind of like ship them, period, because Relaine's behavior is very much, and his personality and stuff feels very compatible with how we've gotten to know Renarin. So I'll put them on C level because I ship them, but we've gotten no interaction. So they're honorable mention, and they're basically arranged by the fandom, but the personalities do match, in my opinion. So we're not going to drop it to D tier. We're going to put them on C tier. I'm starting to wonder if I will have any couples on D tier, because D tier, so let me explain the tiers because I completely forgot to do that in the beginning of this video. So the tiers as I see them. So D tier is basically a relationship that is like, okay, you're together, whatever. I don't see the chemistry. I don't see how it happened. I don't see why y'all are together at all, but I can accept it. And C tier is basically going to be reserved for honorable mention, as well as a relationship that I don't totally see, but I can see how it functions. I can see how it functions from a meta narrative perspective, and I see how it works mechanically. So I can accept it and appreciate it on that level. So C tier or B tier, I think is like right in the middle, regardless of it's an arranged marriage or an organic creation. If the couple and the pairing just kind of works, but it's not like the basically an enviable relationship, a hyper enviable relationship, then I'll probably leave it at middle of the road. But if we are A tier, so A tier is definitely going to be a situation of them, the comparison and the chemistry of the characters working so well that regardless of how they get together, it still looks like a perfect relationship, and that they are basically on equal footing in a way, a level of equal footing that makes it like feel far more team dynamic, but doesn't have to be 100% team dynamic, kind of leaning towards that, which is why S tier is basically, in my mind, the couples that are perfect equals, that work perfectly together, and that have strengths and weaknesses that complement and like help each other. Like how S tier right now, we have Rayoden and Sereni, or not, yeah, Sereni, who aren't, he's an Elantrian, so he's technically more powerful than she is and stuff, but they work together so well, and her use of like politics and like understanding the nature of all that stuff and how to help and deal with people, and his like in terms of like doing similar stuff but doing it in a completely different way. I think they work well together as like colleagues, and they work together well as a couple. So yeah, that's just the highest level of it in my opinion. So yeah, let's go ahead and continue. Next couple is probably one of the biggest, most awesome couples, like the most like prominent couples in the Cosmere. We have actually no, wait, am I right? Let me double check. Let me not be all off. So we're okay, so this is not. This is another great Mistborn couple. This is Wax and Steris. I love them. Their relationship came to be in a very interesting way. It's another arranged marriage technically, but the way in which it kind of comes together, the way they kind of push off the betrothal and stuff a lot, but circumstance kind of create a scenario where they end up really getting to know each other, and it just like really works out, and we get to know Steris a lot more, and I love Steris, and I love what we get of them later on after they like have a kid and stuff, and the way they work together is just so well done. They have to be S tier too, because the way Wax is able to basically be the crazy lawman, adventurer, and do all of that kind of stuff, and the way she like hyper fixates on being prepared for all these different scenarios and stuff, and like how she's good with the political maneuvering and everything, even when she gets pushed back for it. Like they just work together so well, and I just love it so much. I think it's so well done. I just think it's just nice. It's just great. It's just awesome. So I like it. I think it's just one of Brandon's best couples that he's created. I think the use and their equality, but in different ways. Like I think the emphasis on that kind of stuff. I think he does a really good job with it. I really dig it. So next we have probably one of our youngest couples is Painter and Yumi, Nikaro and Yumi. I do enjoy their relationship conceptually, but I don't think it was built very well in the book. It felt like it was doing too many things at once. It was trying to teach each other about each other's world and culture and life and stuff while also falling for each other. So it kind of fell flat for me on the falling for each other part. But I do think they work well together, and they have very much a common kind of, I mean, I guess I'll call it a cliche kind of energy with their relationship, very typical of a lot of TV shows and stuff. So I'm going to put them, because their chemistry just works, I'm just going to put them B tier. They work as a unit, as a couple, and they're very complementary to each other, but they don't like have that like work together kind of partnership kind of thing that I also like. But just as a people in picture frames kind of couple, they work really well. I think. So next, this is a couple that I've already talked about. I have an entire video about it. I think it's basically controversial, and I'm not a big fan. This is Wit and Yasna. I love them together as a conspiring duo, as just meeting of the minds, but I do not like them together. That is D tier. I don't think they work as a couple. I don't think it works in terms of a relationship. I don't care for it. I think it detracts from both characters in a lot of ways when you think of it that way. and it just does not work. I really just want both of them to put their devious, brilliant minds together. Like, that's all I want. I don't need kissing of the fingers and all that nonsense. I just don't. I just simply don't. So yeah, let's go ahead and move on to one of the most wholesome, lovely couples in the Cosmere is Vin and Ellen. A organically developed relationship in a very My Fair Lady way, a very classic literature kind of way, and they also, by the end of the series, they work together very, very well in terms of their roles, like being a full. Actually, they both are Mistborn by the end, but being a Mistborn and being king and like all this stuff, and just trying to their best to hold off the end of the world. I think they worked really, really well together, and it just kind of worked beautifully. So we're going to put them at A tier. They're not entirely at S tier because I do think Ellen is like generally a pretty boring character. Like, he's not that much fun. Like, so I can't really give him like all the way up to the S tier. So he's kind of boring. So yeah, we're gonna leave them at A tier. So next, one of my absolute favorite couples that exist is Sabario and Polona. This is the art I was able to find for it. But like, oh my god, I love their relationship so much. They're automatic S tier. Just the way, like, I will never get over the scene in Words of Radiance where Dalinar is trying to get everybody to get all their stuff together so they can go through the Oath Gate. And he's like trying to get everything together. And then you literally got Sabario and Polona just sitting back in lounge chairs, sipping tea, and she's reading a book. And they're just like, the world is ending, but we just don't care. Like, they have the best energy of anybody in the Cosmere, and I love it to death. Like, and then the way they bicker, but they like know each other so well. The way he's like, Toru is like pretending to be sleeping stuff, and she's like listening to other stuff that's going on in Urithiru, and he's like pretending to be asleep, but they're like having a conversation about the stuff that they're observing. And I just love their dynamic so much. They're my absolute favorite couple in the Cosmere. They simply are. So yeah, automatic S tier, top of the S tier, quite frankly. Let's just do that because they're just so much fun. I can't think about that couple without literally smiling ear to ear. So yes, 100%. All right, next one is a couple that I like a lot, but the pairing of it never really made a lot of sense, but it makes total sense. But like the way it ends, it makes total sense that she would have to leave and all this stuff. So it was like a destined to be doomed kind of relationship anyway, which makes it tragic, which makes it even cooler. But I love these two characters so much. That's Wayne and Milan. I love them both so much, and I love their dynamic so much that they have to be A tier. Because even though the relationship ends tragically, and the relationship, at least from Wayne's perspective, was a lot of lust, I love this idea of this immortal Chandra and this crazy, non-serious, like awesome detective guy who's just brilliant, just accidentally brilliant, and then becomes just this awesome martyr and stuff. I love both characters. That's another one that is like very like character driven, which is why they get pumped up to A tier, because I love both characters individually and I love the characters together, even though they don't have much of a. I mean, they kind of do work together quite a bit. She does kind of help the constabulary a little bit, but they don't have like that level of partnership working together kind of thing that I would normally put couples in the higher tiers for. But I think their like dynamic is just so fun. It's just so fun. I absolutely adore Melan. I love the way she helped Wayne's character develop and progress. I love the use of her. I just thought it was so great. So awesome. All right. And our last couple, the big Cosmere couple. This is the definition of a power couple, in my opinion, because they're both bondsmiths. This is the definition of a power couple. That is Dalinar and Navani. A brilliant mind and a absolute ruthless badass. Well, no longer ruthless, but an absolute prodigious fighter. Like, just they are so great together, especially as it progresses. Now that Navani's a bondsmith, and she's going to have this even greater level of understanding of how fabrials work, and she'll probably be able to invent different types of fabrials and stuff. Now that assuming her and the siblings' relationship isn't always contentious, but like, oh my god, I am so hyped to see what comes of like the later stuff with them. But I think this relationship is the most organically built, it's the most beautiful, and they're the best best teamwork dynamic that I've seen. Like, they need each other, they love each other, they work with each other, they work off each other, they help each other. Like, it's just so great. I absolutely adore Dalinar and Navani. And the fact that this Cosmere couple is one of the most prominent couples we see in the entire Cosmere, I think it is that much more important that the couple dynamic be well done. So I'm really happy that Brandon did such a great job with them as a couple, especially since they're both going to be bondsmiths going forward, which honestly leads me to believe that Dalinar is going to lose the contest of champion and he has to go off and become a fused or whatever. And that's going to leave, so we can't be left without a bondsmith. So then we have Navani as the bondsmith while Dalinar's gone, and then maybe Navani becomes a world hopper, and that becomes like her greater mission in life later to go and try to save fused Dalinar, and then she becomes like a universe, a Cosmere world hopper and be hopping around. Everybody was speculating that it'd be like Shallan and stuff that leaves the main group and go off and world hop, but it's actually Navani. Like, how cool would that be? Like, come on, she could make fabrials on out of Aether Sports. Like, I don't like she can do all kinds of stuff. I don't know. It could be really, really cool, but I'm just really, really hyped about it. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and wrap that up because my brain's exploding with that idea now. Yeah, we're probably gonna do a dedicated video just speculating about that concept now. Yeah. So let's go ahead and wrap this up now. That is my couples tier list. Let me know in the comments down below, which couples do you think belong at S tier? Do you agree with my rankings? How would you kind of break down your rankings of the couples? Like, how would your tiers be broken down differently from mine? Let me know about that in the comments down below. So as always, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Check out the Patreon if you want to see early access and reactions and stuff. And yeah, as always, I will talk to you all next time. Peace.